Hey guys, so today I thought I would just talk about some horror movies I've watched during quarantine. I've had all the time in the world to do so I've taken the opportunity. I've also obviously been watching other movies, but we're gonna stick to horror today. So let's get into it. So first I wanted to talk about Mother. This one stars Jennifer Lawrence. This one came out back in 2017, and I remember when it came out, everybody was claiming it to be like the scariest horror movie they've seen in a while. And then I watched it because it's on Prime, and oh my god! Jennifer Lawrence is like a really good actress, you have to admit that, and I think she plays this role very well. I like basically the movie's entire message. Not a message, but there's like a hidden meaning to it, and I think that's like beautiful. The cinematography, man, the shots, the visuals, everything. How do I describe that? I don't know, it's just a very beautiful movie to look at. I was afraid that it was going to be slow. It was very disturbing, to say the least. They were just, the end with the, if you've seen the movie. Also, I don't think this movie is the best movie to watch if you're feeling trapped. I know quarantine is like opening up again and like it doesn't exist anymore, but it's just it's like a claustrophobic movie, you know what I mean? Because you have one setting that does not change for the rest of the movie. I definitely recommend this one if you haven't watched it already. The next horror movie I watched after that was Vivarium. This one stars... How do I not have this information up? This one's directed by Lorcan Finnegan, and it stars Imogen Poots and Jesse Eisenberg. And it's about this couple that's looking for a house, and they end up getting trapped in this one neighborhood. I knew that the main reason I watched this one because I thought it was going to be like one of those quirky kind of movies. Everything's just kind of... it's a little off, but it's fun. It's fun to look at. And that's definitely the case for this. It's like, it's not like too quirky like this movie, but it has like that kind of visual. Although I will say, I did not like this movie very much. I didn't hate it. I just didn't enjoy it. It's a very slow movie. It kind of, nothing happens. Like, what's gonna happen? They're stuck in a neighborhood. Like, the plot, where is it? It just got really slow. I got easily distracted because nothing was happening. So, one thing I was confused on was like, why? I don't think there is a why, and I think that's what a lot of people have a problem with this movie. Is like, why? Why are the aliens doing this? Like, what's the point in trapping humans in this neighborhood? I just didn't understand why. It's just like this movie exists. It's not like we get an explanation as to why all of this is happening. You get me? After that, I watched Coherence, which was from 2013, which was directed by James Ward Burkett. This one's a low-budget movie, and I love low-budget movies. A lot of people don't really like low-budget movies. I don't know why. Like, for the most part, a lot of low-budget movies I've watched have always ended up being like the best movies I've watched, mainly because it's just so artificial. Not artificial, it's so genuine. I watched this one because, so I heard it from recommendation from somebody. I don't remember who, but I was like, oh, that sounds like a good movie. I'm not really into sci-fi that much, but just, it doesn't seem like it's too sci-fi, too much sci-fi. And then the next day, when I was planning on watching it, I watched somebody's video and they talked about the movie. And then later that night, I saw somebody's tweet about it, and I was confused because this movie, it is a popular movie, but like it's not one that people talk about a lot. So like the fact that I heard about it 3 times in 2 days was kind of weird to me, and I really liked it. I really like the style of it. I don't know if it's because it's low budget, so they don't, the editing can't be too crazy, but like it was just like shots and then it would just cut out. It was like a black screen for like 2 seconds and then move on to the next frame. But I just think it added to the movie. I loved how most of it is improvised, because I'm pretty sure most of the script is just like improvised. I'm pretty sure there wasn't a script except for like certain things they just had to say. And I liked the story. It's pretty confusing. Like, it really messes with your mind because you think you're keeping track of what's going on, but then something else happens and you're like, wait, how did I like get lost? Because you just think you know, but you don't. And I want to rewatch this movie to try and figure out like what's going on, who goes where and whatnot. If you haven't watched this movie already, go watch it. I think it's still on Prime. That's where I watched it anyways. And then I watched the Creep movies. I was really into watching found film, and I actually did watch Blair Witch. I forgot when, but I watched it. But I have like 10 minutes left of it technically, so like I haven't finished it. So I think I'm just gonna rewatch it because I wasn't even paying attention to when I was watching it. Anyways, I watched the Creep movies, starting with the first one. This one, the reason I watched this one is because it's on Netflix, first of all. Second of all, it's not like supernatural or like scary or anything like that, so I didn't think like there were going to be jump scares, and I wasn't really into that at the time, so I just decided to watch this one. And it's good. I liked that it was found film. I don't know, because it wouldn't work any other way, this story. I don't really know how to talk about this movie because it's not like there's anything like particularly special about it, but I think it is a great series, duology in itself. The reason I don't know, I'm not saying duology, is because I don't know if they're going to come out with a third movie. I want them to come out with a third movie because I just love this series so much, but I'll just stick to saying duology for now. Like, if I had to rate it, it was kind of like a little bit more than average for me. But for the most part, it was great. And that ending scene, I think that ending scene just really capped it off for me. That made me love it because it was so real. And I think that's why it disturbed me more. I can't really tell you what the ending scene is, obviously, but it's just like, I don't know, it's crazy. And then the second movie I actually like better than the first movie. Mainly because of the chemistry between the two characters. It just really adds to it. Obviously, it seems more real to me, in my opinion. And then you get to kind of get into the head of this guy more. It's just like, in my opinion, just better than the first one. But not like significantly. I'm talking like, you know, like this. Whenever I'm gonna recommend horror movies to my friends because they're always asking me for recommendations, I'd like recommend the second one. I'd be like, okay, so please watch the Creep duology, but like the second one is gonna be better than the first one, trust me. Ooh, distractions. For some reason, I didn't get scared by the jump scares either, like, because I knew they were coming. Because, you know, you could pick up the pattern from the first movie. And then the last movie I wanted to talk about was The Cabin in the Woods. This one, so I was planning on watching this one eventually. Like, I have like a kind of mental list of movies I want to watch, horror movies I want to watch. It was on 2 platforms. I think it's on Hulu, and well, yes, it's on Hulu. That's where I watched it. But it's also on Prime. So I was like, you know what, it's there, might as well. And a lot of people say this is one of their favorite movies, so I decided to watch it. And I'm not going to really talk about what the movie's about because a lot of people say not to, to go into it kind of unknowing of what the story is about. I like it. I mean, okay, so I understand why this is a bunch of people's favorite movies, but I like it. I like the idea, mainly, can I talk about, I like the idea that it's not a parody instead of it's like a commentary. It was funny. Like, I usually don't, the reason I haven't watched a lot of slasher films is because I like horror movies with like commentary in it, aka modern day horror movies. I love this evolution. The gore in Cabin in the Woods is perfect. Like, I could handle it, but anything more than that is kind of not okay for me. Like, I couldn't help but laugh every time that somebody died because it was just funny. And also, there was like parts that weren't supposed to be funny that I laughed at, and I obviously laughed at like the parts that were supposed to be funny. I don't think this movie is supposed to be a comedy, which I think is what makes it more funny. I mean, what makes it funnier, because like, it's just unintentionally funny. And the amount of times I've said funny is not funny, actually. I wouldn't say watch this if you want a good laugh. I'd just say watch this if you want to be entertained. I think that's a good note to end off of. Thank you for hearing me talk about horror movies. I haven't gotten into them until like recently, past 6 to 8 months, which I think is beautiful. I don't know what the next one I'm going to watch is. I'm just going to kind of see. Maybe As Above, So Below. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment just any movies you've been watching recently. I want to kind of get some recommendations here. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.